So today we are going to be matchmaking for the best division right now in the UFC, that being the welterweight division. So starting off with the number 15th ranked welterweight, we have MVP. Now obviously Michael Venom Page came to the UFC. He's a big name. His prime was in Bellator when he was crushing cans, if we're being honest. But since coming to the UFC, he is now 2-1. He beat Kevin Holland on his UFC debut at UFC 299. He had a really good performance in there, kind of just clowning on Kevin Holland. After that, he lost to Ian Garry at UFC 303. He just got exposed for having basically zero grappling in that matchup. And then he went up to the middleweight division, and that is where he handed Shara Bullet Magomedov his first ever loss in professional MMA, where he beat him by decision. Now, MVP did get a big win in the middleweight division, but did make it clear that he is coming back down to the welterweight division. So this is the matchup that I think should be next for MVP. And that is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Now look, this is a matchup that everybody has wanted to see since MVP has joined the UFC. I think MVP is an elite level striker, probably the most unorthodox striker we have ever seen in the UFC, probably we have ever seen in mixed martial arts. There's very few people that just in a striking battle can beat MVP, but Wonderboy is one of those guys that can pose problems to MVP. Wonderboy is getting up there in age now though. He is 42 years of age. He is on a 2-fight losing streak, a 2-fight finish losing streak as well. He got knocked out by Joaquin Buckley. He got submitted by Shavkat Rakhmonov, but this is a matchup that everybody has been asking for. Wonderboy still has stuff left in the tank. I mean, he did look good in there against Joaquin Buckley, and Buckley is a top elite contender right now in the welterweight division, and in fact, in my opinion, he is the dark horse of this division. But this is a matchup everyone's been crying out for. There are other better matchups, personally, in my opinion, that I would like to see MVP in, like a Carlos Prates. But for the sake of the welterweight division, I don't want to be rehashing the same matchups. I want to be getting different matchups in this division. And this is a fight that people wanted to see, MVP versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. It can either go one of two ways. Either it's an absolute banger of a matchup on the feet with a lot of crazy, goofy striking exchanges in there, or it will be a really dull, boring, point fight matchup where not much is happening. I think it's probably going to be the latter. I think it is going to be a very boring matchup because MVP is a big puncher. I know we haven't seen it yet in the UFC, but we did see it in his Bellator career when he was in there against Cans, to be honest, if we're being completely honest. He was in there with Cans, he was smoking them, getting some really cool knockouts in there. But MVP does carry a lot of power. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is near the end of his career. He is coming off a big KO loss to Joaquin Buckley. So I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson would be on the defensive in this matchup, which then I think would lead to this point fight type between MVP Wonderboy. But stylistically, it could be just a really fun fight. They're two big names. It's a fight that people want to see. MVP versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Moving on up, we have got Carlos Prates. Now, Carlos Prates literally lost all his aura after losing to Ian Garry, if we're being honest. Carlos Prates, people were saying this guy's going to be the next champ.
Bruh.
But Carlos Prates, this is who I think he should fight next. It is Jeff Neal. These guys were booked to fight at UFC 314. It didn't materialise. Jeff Neal pulled out with an injury. Jeff Neal, though, I think can offer a lot of problems to Carlos Prates. Jeff Neal is really underrated in my opinion. He's got a lot of big wins on his resume. Let's not forget he beat the former champion in Belal Muhammad. He is coming off a win at UFC 308 against former lightweight champion in RDA. But that was a kind of weird fight where RDA's knee kind of just gave in, and we haven't seen Jeff Neal since. Now, Jeff Neal has got really good boxing, and he is a big power puncher as well, and Jeff Neal will stick it on Carlos Prates. Jeff Neal also has a good chin as well. He went toe to toe. Jeff Neal had a more competitive fight with Ian Garry than what Carlos Prates did. Now, people might disagree because Carlos Prates in round 5 really hurt Ian Garry and nearly had him out of there. But Jeff Neal lost a split decision to Ian Garry that some people thought should have went his way. Jeff Neal made a more competitive matchup in there with Ian Garry. I think this would be a really fun matchup. I think someone would get stopped in this fight, whether it be Carlos Prates or Jeff Neal. I say rebook it. I think it's a fun fight, and I think it makes sense in terms of the rankings. There's one rank between them, Jeff Neal number 11, Carlos Prates number 13. It would be a perfect addition to any main card of a pay-per-view. I think it would be the perfect main card opener to any card. Any card. It could probably be its own fight night main event if we're being honest, at a push. But I think we can do better for fight night main events. Although Derek Lewis versus Teixeira is headlining the UFC fight night card, so I wouldn't get my hopes up too much. But yeah, Jeff Neal, Carlos Prates, rebook it. It's a fun matchup. Moving on up in the division, I just deleted what matchup it should have been. That's annoying. Give me 2 seconds, folks. Let me try and sort this out. Again, this is annoying. Just on the fly. Do you know what I mean? There's no editing that needs to go on around here. Next matchup is Colby Covington versus Gilbert Burns. I think now is the time to make this matchup. Gilbert Burns is 0-4 in his last 4 fights. Colby Covington is on a 2-fight losing streak, losing to Joaquin Buckley and losing to Leon Edwards. Both guys are at the end of their career. This could maybe be a retirement fight for both fighters. Gilbert Burns didn't retire after the Morales matchup. Colby Covington still says he's looking to fight. I think now's the time to make this matchup. 2 unks battling it out to see who is the actual unk of the division. I think it'll be a fun matchup. I think there could be a pretty decent build up to it. I wouldn't mind seeing this as like a fight night main event in Miami or Florida or something like that. I think it could be a fun one as long as you stack the card with other interesting matchups. I wouldn't mind if this was the main event, but I think Colby Covington, Gilbert Burns, it's a fun matchup stylistically. I think it'll be a fun matchup to see. I think both guys can go to war. We've seen it time and time again with Gilbert Burns going to war with the likes of Khamzat Chimaev, etc. Colby Covington going to war with the likes of Kamaru Usman. I think that these guys would gel because I think they're at the same level now in their career, and I think it'll be a really fun matchup stylistically. So Colby Covington, I think he should be taking on Gilbert Burns. And in terms of the rankings, Colby's number 9 somehow. Gilbert Burns is ranked number 10. It makes complete sense. Moving on up, we have got, speaking of Gilbert Burns, we have got who just beat Gilbert Burns. Michael Morales looked phenomenal in that matchup in there. Showed really good boxing in there, really good footwork as well, and showed that he is a big puncher. Now, Gilbert Burns literally offered him nothing, if we're being honest. Michael Morales absolutely smoked him. But Michael Morales is 18-0 now. He's still young at 25 years of age. I think he does deserve a jump up in the rankings. He's number 8 now. He's in the top 10. The perfect matchup for him is Leon Edwards. This fight makes absolute sense, in my opinion. It's a really good matchup. Leon Edwards now on a 2-fight losing streak. At one point in time, I actually showed face in public and said this guy was going to be the greatest UFC welterweight of all time.
Bruh.
And then he let Belal Muhammad bully him. And then he let Sean Brady bully him. Don't let him bully you, son. Don't let him bully you, son. You got fucking bullied. But Michael Morales, I think that's the matchup to give him. If Michael Morales beats Leon Edwards, the former champion, he's arguably there for a title fight, if not a number 1 contenders matchup. If Leon Edwards, who does have a big following, if we're being honest, Leon Edwards does have a big following. If he's able to get the win over Michael Morales, hand Michael Morales his first ever defeat in the UFC, then Leon Edwards is right back in there in a title eliminator. Do you know what I mean? So it makes sense for both guys, for the economics. That, I don't even know if that makes sense. For the economics of the welterweight division, this fight makes sense. And I think it's a fun one. Just don't make it a main event. I don't want to see Leon Edwards in a main event until he gets a win, until he shows urgency. Like, the way that guy showed up to the Sean Brady matchup was embarrassing. Yeah, last fight was embarrassing. We were laughing at you in the Brooklyn lockup. But yeah, it was shit. It was crap. But I think he can beat Michael Morales. Leon Edwards is a really technical kickboxer. He really, really is. Honestly, it's such a close fight. Like, has Leon Edwards lost all his confidence? Is Michael Morales going to absolutely steamroll him? Because Michael Morales is massive for the welterweight division. But Leon Edwards is also really big for the division. Leon Edwards can mix in the grappling as well. Will Michael Morales' boxing be too much? Because Morales is aggressive and he will look to finish Leon Edwards. And we know Leon absolutely crumbles under pressure. When the kitchen gets hot, Leon Edwards melts. Yeah, when Leon Edwards comes under adversity, when he's not leading the dance, Leon Edwards tends to fucking crumble. But I think it makes sense. Number 4 versus number 8. Michael Morales, 18-0. Leon Edwards, former champion. Book it. Perfect main card fight for any pay-per-view. Moving on up, we have got Joaquin Buckley. Now, Joaquin Buckley is taking on Kamaru Usman. In my time frame, in this multiverse, Joaquin Buckley beats Kamaru Usman. I think Buckley is the dark horse of the division. I think timing-wise, this is his time. I think he beats Kamaru Usman. I think he beats Kamaru Usman by TKO. So who should be next for Joaquin Buckley? It is Ian Garry. I think Ian Garry versus Joaquin Buckley, the storyline is there. They were meant to fight. Then we know what happened. Ian Garry stepped in to fight Shavkat. I'm going to burp. And then Joaquin Buckley went in there against Colby Covington. But now is the time to make this matchup. I think it would be an exciting one. I think it's close and competitive. Personally, I would go with Ian Garry. Call me biased if you want. But I think Ian Garry's fight IQ is really underrated. I think he's a really good striker that knows how to keep the distance. And the threat of the takedown, I think, could throw off Joaquin Buckley. And I just trust more in Ian Garry's cardio than what I do for Joaquin Buckley, because this would be a 5-round fight in my opinion. I think Ian Garry versus Joaquin Buckley, I'm probably going to edge it to... This is like a 55-45. 55% to me says Ian Garry's going to win. 45% says Joaquin Buckley. Close fight. The storyline's there. It's a massive matchup for the number one contender. Get it booked. Moving on to Kamaru Usman. If he doesn't retire to Joaquin Buckley, which I think there is a good chance he will, the next matchup for Kamaru Usman is Belal Muhammad. Now, people might say he doesn't deserve the Belal Muhammad matchup. Belal Muhammad, the former champion who lost to JDM. But Belal Muhammad, Kamaru Usman, these guys have history. These guys have beef. These guys don't like each other. I think it would be a fun matchup to see. Both guys are very similar in age. Belal Muhammad, if he's able to get a win over Kamaru Usman, even though at that point he'd be on a 4-fight losing streak, it's still Kamaru Usman, the second best welterweight of all time. I just think there's a lot of storylines there. It's a fight that I want to see. I think it makes sense for both guys. Moving on, we have got Shavkat Rakhmonov. Who the fuck is that guy? When is he coming back to fight? Why is he always injured? I need to know these things. But Shavkat Rakhmonov's next fight should be against Sean Brady. This isn't rocket science here. I'm not reinventing the wheel. Sean Brady is a future welterweight champion in my opinion. He's coming off the most dominant performance of the year so far against former champion Leon Edwards. I think this right here is a fun matchup that can go either way, because I can see Sean Brady submitting Shavkat Rakhmonov. If Ian Garry's getting to your back and Sean Brady gets to that position, Sean Brady's submitting you. Although Sean Brady does lack in the striking. Yes, he landed on the likes of Gilbert Burns and he landed on the likes of Leon Edwards, but Shavkat won't fear the takedown as much as the other two, if you know what I'm saying. Shavkat Rakhmonov is the aggressor in this fight. He's a big puncher. We've seen Sean Brady be stopped by Belal Muhammad by TKO. You know what I mean? In the clinch as well. I think it will lead for a really exciting matchup. Sean Brady versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. It's very close. It could go either way in my opinion. I honestly think we'd see a finish in this matchup. Either a Brady submission or a TKO win from Shavkat Rakhmonov. But these are the guys that should be fighting each other now to see who should fight the winner of JDM, the current welterweight champion, versus Islam Makhachev. That is who the winner of Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Sean Brady should be facing. In terms of JDM versus Islam, look, JDM can definitely beat Islam Makhachev. He's a bigger, better Dustin Poirier, if we're being honest. He's a better striker. He might not have better initial takedown defense than Dustin Poirier, but he's got way better scrambles and get-ups. But Islam Makhachev, he's moving up to the welterweight division. Islam Makhachev is a very underrated kickboxer in my opinion, but obviously we all know what his strong suit is. It is his grappling. Personally, I think Islam Makhachev will beat JDM. I think Islam Makhachev will submit JDM inside 3 rounds. But that is how you should book the UFC's welterweight division. It is easily the best division right now in the UFC. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. What fights would you like to see? What divisions would you like to see me matchmake next? Do you know I'm going to take the title off bedtime? I think I'm the best matchmaker on YouTube. I think I make the best matchups. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say it. But let me know in the comments below. I appreciate the support. We are close to 1K. Let me know your opinions on these matchups in the comments below. Who wins them? And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment. I've said that 3 times now. See you later.